how to talk to your friends about carbon pricing. Carbon pricing isn't always an easy topic to bring up with friends. But Tom and Camila have worked out some great ways to make this super important topic interesting too.
So usually when I introduce myself to people and say I'm campaigning for a price on carbon, the first reaction is, what's the price on carbon? Like,
yeah, it's usually blink, blink.
Yeah, exactly. How do you get past that point, and do you think there's ways to really convince people that this is something that you can get behind?
So when we're talking about putting a price on carbon, we're just saying that the prices of everything that we consume should tell the truth about what's good for us or what's bad for us. And so really simplify and put it into regular people speak and put it into stories. Like if we pay to take our trash out to the curb, why should polluters dump into our atmosphere for free? Everybody gets that. People can relate to how taxes have changed behavior, like cigarettes. All the campaigns to get teens to stop smoking with DARE and posters showing your lungs all black, well, that's fine, but they've shown that a really high tax on cigarettes is actually the #1 reason that smoking has decreased in popularity and people are now healthier. And so if you can point out those reasons, that shouldn't the things that are bad for us be expensive and the things that are good for us be affordable? Yeah, so if you pose that question to people, they're like, tell me more.
Yeah. So if I was someone completely new to carbon pricing, sitting down here asking you, and you're trying to make the pitch to me, how do you think you would go about doing it?
Right now, polluting is free. So big polluters can dump waste into our shared world, into our atmosphere, and there's zero consequences for it. How does that make you feel?
I think we need to stop that.
So the most effective way to stop that problem is to make it too expensive to do so that alternatives have a chance to compete. And we can do that by putting a price on carbon. Do you want to hear more?
Yeah, I'm curious a little bit about how that would affect people in America. Because obviously if you put a tax on something, that's just going to increase the cost.
Sure, so the first thing to acknowledge is if we don't stop polluting, we're not going to have an economy, we're not going to have a planet to live on. So the cost of doing nothing is astronomical. It's our entire world. And so if we acknowledge that and decide, well, we want to prevent that from happening, we look at what's the easiest way to get off dirty energy and allow for a sustainable economy to compete. And so putting a price on carbon just means having prices tell the truth and creating more choices for all of us. We know that it's a lie that a carbon price is going to hurt people or hurt the economy.
Obviously global warming is an international effort. It's a global problem, and a lot of countries are going to have to come together or else it's not going to matter.
Dozens of countries and jurisdictions around the world already have a price on carbon, and it's working and it's good for the economy, and it's more than just a feel-good, moral call to action. It's actually that we're lagging behind and it's hurting us. And the more we wait on passing a price on carbon, the further behind we're gonna be in being able to compete in a world that acknowledges real limits on how much we can pollute. We all stand to lose a lot more from climate change than the companies who will need to change their business model will lose from a price on carbon.
You know, being worried late at night, thinking about this, thinking about, is it even moral for me to have children? Stuff like that. It's scary, and I'm worried about it, and sometimes it's hard to cope with. How do you take that fear and really turn it into motivation and inspiration? Or what motivates you, and are you afraid?
Well, of course I'm afraid. When I was 15 or so and started to really learn about climate change, I looked at those graphs and saw my own life plotted along it and wondered, well, was I going to be able to have kids someday? That's why I got involved in trying to deal with climate change. And yet we can't fight based on the assurance of success. I mean, if we look at people who did the right thing in World War II, they didn't sacrifice their lives because they knew they were gonna win.
Yeah.
They did it because it was, to them, the right thing to do. This is the time that we have. There's only so much we can do, but we can do a lot when we have focus and discipline and we stick with the facts. And we have to stop pretending that it's just a matter of a few nice slogans and, you know, an easy call to action. No, it's education and it's sticking with people and it's empowering them and it's making those opportunities to really move the needle with policy and then showing that when we do come together and we ask for this solution, we can win.
Make that work.
Put a price on it. To learn more, go to theclimatesolution.com.